Alhamdulillah, salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Allahumma la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana, innaka antal alimul hakim. Allahumma anfa'na bima 'allamtana wa 'allimna ma yanfa'una wa zidna 'ilma. Wa sallallahu wa sallim wa barik ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa ashabihi at-tayyibin at-tahirin. Assalamu-alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam.
اللهم اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي امري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. اللهم انت ربي لا اله الا انت خلقتني وانا عبدك وانا على عهدك ووعدك ما استطعت. اعوذ بك من شر ما صنعت. ابوء لك بنعمتك علي وابوء بذنبي فاغفر لي فانه لا يغفر الذنوب الا انت. واشهد ان لا اله الا الله واشهد ان محمدا عبده ورسوله. We begin by praising Allah, we praise Him and we ask His help and we seek His forgiveness. And we seek refuge in Allah from the evil inside us and from the evil consequences of our bad actions. Whoever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guides, no one can misguide. And whoever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala leaves to go astray, no one can guide. I testify that there is no God to be worshipped but Allah, and Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is the messenger of Allah. First of all, Jazakumullah khair for inviting me here, and inshallah this is going to be a weekly halaqah, inshallah, between Maghrib and Isha. So I just want to thank the brothers who want to revive the community, want to people to start coming to the masjid, because this is really important. This is really important to have, to have the community, the Muslim community, and have Islam willed and alive. And you have this feeling into your heart that there is something going on in the community and you need to participate in it. Maybe this is good, alhamdulillah, the number is good. Inshallah, next week, inshallah, we hope that more people will attend. Spread the word, share it with others. Try to bring the sisters, because once the sisters come, they will bring also their children with them. And some of the sisters will bring their husbands. They would like to just relax Friday night. They will bring their husbands as well. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you and bless your families. I picked the topic for this halaqah, and the topic is at the door of Jannah. At the door of Jannah. And today we're going to talk about Jannah. And we're going to see how good is the Jannah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How good is the Jannah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Today, this is what we do. And Jannah, talking about Jannah actually will take years and years. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala described Jannah a lot in the Quran. As a motivation for us. So we're going to talk about a little bit about Jannah. And see what is the reward of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What kind of a reward is waiting for us, inshallah, in the last day. And then, after we see how beautiful and great the Jannah is, we're going to talk about the things that will lead us to the door of the Jannah. Will lead us to the Jannah. And that will be, inshallah, next week and the week after, inshallah. First and foremost, every single human being is searching for happiness. When you ask someone, why did you do such an action? He will tell you, just to satisfy myself. Because that thing makes me happy. If you ask a little child about why did you do that, he will tell you, because it makes me feel good. It makes me feel happy. People find happiness through other ways in life. Some people, they find happiness through money. And money is a ni'mah, is a blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you cannot say that money does not bring happiness to me. You cannot say that, because it really does. It brings happiness to you. Once you feel secure, you have enough money, you have a good salary, you're planning for your future and the future of your family, you feel secure. And this security brings happiness to you. But not a full happiness. Because you see a lot of people who have the money, but they don't have, for example, good health. They don't have good wife. They don't have good husband. They don't have good children. They don't have good manners. They're not practicing Muslims. So they're really not enjoying the money. And the money, as Abu Talib said, the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ's uncle, when he went to propose for Aisha, he said, مَا الْمَالُ إِلَّا ظِلٌّ زَائِلٌ. What is money but a fleeting shadow? And a borrowed thing must be returned to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, you're not going to leave the reckoning. Your feet will not move on in the last day unless you be asked about three things. Two of them is about money. Where did you gain it and how did you spend it? Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, Abdurrahman, his son, died, and he left 200 dinars. He was shocked. And he kept making dua for his son because, he knows that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to ask him about every penny. And the more money you have, the longer you're going to be standing before Allah. Allah is going to ask you about every penny. How did you gain it? Where did you spend it? So money is a great gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But what is the greatest about money is to know how to spend it. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, إِنَّمَا الدُّنْيَا لِأَرْبَعَةِ نَفَرٍ. There are 4 types of people in this life. Number 1, a man whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala provided with money and money and knowledge. And he's spending this money in order to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in order to keep ties to his family. And Rasulullah said, this man is in an excellent state. The second person, a man whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala provided with knowledge nor money. He doesn't have money, but he has the knowledge, the wisdom. And then he says, if Allah gives me this money, I would act in my money the same way as so and so. فَهُمَا فِي الْجَزَاءِ سَوَاء. Then they will receive the same amount of reward. Although he didn't have the money, but he had the intention. He has the sincerity, and the sincerity is a must. And because of your sincerity in the last day, you will come in the last day and see a lot of hasanat. A lot of deeds that you didn't do in life, but just because your intention was pure, just because you had sincerity, and again, sincerity is a must. Is a must. That's the second person. He will receive the same reward as the one who had money. The third, a man whom Allah provided with money nor knowledge. He has money, that's it. But he doesn't have any knowledge, he doesn't have any wisdom. And he's spending this money in a haram way. He's spending this money to destine himself away from Allah and the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, this man is in the worst state. The fourth person is a man whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala provided with neither money nor wisdom. And this person says, if I have the money as such and such, like the third one who's spending in a haram, I would act in my money just the same way. And this person also will receive the same reward as the third one, because his intention. SubhanAllah. So money is very important. But what is more important is how to spend the money for the cause of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Qarun kana min qawmi Musa fabagha alayhim. He was one of the Moses people, and he oppressed the people. All right, and he had a lot of money. And when people said to him, "Well, don't forget to spend this money that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave you in the right way," he used to say, "Qala innama utitu ala ilmin indi." No. It's not from God, it's from me. It's because if I'm so good, I work so hard, and that's why I gained this money. And compare him to Sayyidina Sulaiman alayhi salam. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him all this, he said, قَالَ هَذَا مِنْ فَضْلِ رَبِّي لِيَبْلُوَنِي أَأَشْكُرْ أَمْ أَكْفُرْ. This is from God to test me. Should I show gratitude or should I deny God? And then they said to him, وَلَا تَنْسَ نَصِيبَكَ مِنَ الدُّنْيَا. Don't forget about your own self. You still can get like a nice house, You still can enjoy a nice car. You still can just go on a trip to Europe or have a nice meal, go out, take your family on a trip. You still can enjoy your life. And subhanAllah, those are the happiest, wallahi, people. The people who fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala regarding their money, and they don't forget their portion of this life. So people find happiness through money. Some others, they find happiness through recognition and fame, positions, offices. This is also something that brings happiness to the self. Right? If you get promoted in your job, a manager or an assistant manager or a general manager, you feel good about yourself. Right? But this is something very important because you're going to be asked about every person who is under your responsibilities. And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, كُلُّكُمْ رَاعٍ وَكُلُّكُمْ مَسْئُولٌ عَنْ رَعِيَّتِهِ. Every one of you is a caretaker, and every single one of you will be asked about what was under his care. So yeah, position is good. The office, the chair, or the throne, whatever you want to call it, feels good. Fits me very good, like a glove. Right? But you're going to be asked about this. A man came to the Prophet ﷺ to just tell you how serious positions are. Came to the Prophet ﷺ and he asked Rasulullah, Ya Rasulullah, mata as-sa'a? When is the hour? The Rasulullah ﷺ says, إِذَا ضُيِّعَتِ الْأَمَانَةِ فَانْتَظِرِ السَّاعَةِ. When the amana, when trusts are lost, then wait for the hour. And then the man, he really could not understand. And he says, Ya Rasulullah, what is the loss of that? What is the meaning of the loss of trust? He says, when offices and positions are given to people who are incapable, then wait for the hour. Wait for the hour. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the Messenger of Allah, they want that people are capable of carrying out responsibilities of a position to step in and be given these responsibilities. Not someone who is incapable. Not someone who is not qualified. Because this is our problems actually, one of our problems as Muslims overseas. And it happens here as well. You know, the bribes in order to get a position. You know, I can tell you stories about that. Because it happened to so many people that I know, friends and relatives, who worked so hard through their whole life. And they could not get a position because the head of the department was just like, he had his nephew or his cousin or so-and-so who gave. And because of that, he took his place. SubhanAllah. And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, if you hire someone, or if you appoint someone in a position, and there's someone else who is better in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not more righteous, not more devoted. No, he has the knowledge. He's qualified. Because Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salam, he didn't ask to be a minister because of his, prophethood or because his father was a prophet. No, he asked because inni hafidhun alim. I know how to do this. I got some experience when it comes to management. Although this leadership of this government they used to worship the man, the Pharaoh, a polytheist government. But a prophet asked because he wanted to contribute into the society. Why? Because he feels that he can carry out the responsibility of something. But does it bring happiness? It does. But not full, complete happiness. You know Christina Onassis? She was the daughter of Assalam-o-Alaikum, right? In the 70s, he dies in the 70s. This man, he was the richest man in the world during the 70s. Christina Onassis died at the age of 37. She married 5 times. She had a lot of money. Her father actually, after he died, he left all this for her. His wife and his son, they died actually a few years before him in a car accident. And then he died a few years later. And then his daughter, she got all this. She inherited all this money, but she died at the age of 37. She married 4 or 5 times. She died she died at the bar in Argentina. When people used to ask her, "Would you marry me?" So many times, she used to say, "I'm looking for happiness." Did she really find the happiness? No. She died like a desperate person. Akhi, wallahi, money will never bring happiness to you. Will never bring complete happiness to you. And I heard this story from a sheikh in Egypt. He said that he knew someone who was in a car accident. This man was rich. He went to visit him in a hospital. And he said, "How do you feel?" And this man was paralyzed. He was all cast. He says to him, "SubhanAllah, I wish someone will take all my money and bring me one hand to just scratch my back. One hand to scratch my back." You know the scholar who entered upon Harun al-Rashid? And Harun al-Rashid wanted to honor him. And that was the tradition of the people before. They used to honor the scholars. Not like us nowadays. You know, so Harun al-Rashid, one of the greatest Muslim leaders, or sultans or kings, the man entered and he wanted to honor him. And he says, "What can I do for you?" He says, "Bring me a glass of water." So they brought him a glass of water. And then the scholar said to Harun, "Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, how much would you pay if you were prevented from this glass of water? How much would you pay?" He said, "Half of my kingdom. I will give half of my kingdom to get this glass of water." He said, "What if you drank it and you could not release it for some reason? You couldn't release it. How much would you pay to release it?" He said, "Second half of my kingdom." He said, "SubhanAllah, your whole kingdom is not even worth of a glass of water." Right? So where's happiness then? Somebody asked Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal, he says, I'm looking for happiness. When exactly will I feel comfortable? He said, there is no such a thing in this life. No, there is no comfort in life. But comfort is when you put your first step in the Jannah. And you say, "Yes, I made it. Alhamdulillah." That's comfort. That's comfort. And that's what we're going to be talking about. The real comfort. A place that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala prepared for a selected group of people. A beautiful place, peaceful. There is no pain. There is no harm. You don't have to go to sleep. You don't have to go to the restroom. You don't have to eat out of hunger or drink out of thirst, but you eat and drink out of enjoyment, out of pleasure. Tafakkuh. You just eat because as the young people say, for the heck of it. Just to enjoy it. Enjoying being in the Jannah. And that's the Jannah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. سأل موسى بن عمران الله سبحانه وتعالى عن أدنى أهل الجنة You know, when you have a child, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala provides. You get more money, you get promotion, your salary increases, you find a better job, you know, more money. This is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala plans it. Right? So, La ilaha illallah. Do you remind me what was I saying before? Do you remember?
About the up and works.
No, before that.
Halwa.
No.
Halwa. The anxiety.
Yes. إن الإنسان خلق هلوعا. جزاك الله خير. إن الإنسان خلق هلوعا. A man is in the state of anxiety all the time. All the time. Thinking about what he's going to do. What I'm going to... And then you go... Yani Ibn Hazm said, if you try to interpret the action of a behavior of a human being, you will see that it's an attempt to remove anxiety. Everything you do it in order to remove anxiety. That's what Ibn Hazm said. And it's true. It's very true. Why do you eat? Out of fear of hunger. Why do you dress? Out of fear of being, naked or, why do you look for good jobs and positions? To feel like, you're a big figure, a significant person in this world. Right? But we need to relax. That's what we need to do. We need to relax. When you go to the swimming pool, they throw you in the pool and they say, swim. It's the first time they throw you in the pool and the swimming pool says, relax. They say, relax. And here in your mind, relax. Are you crazy? You're going to drown. But what happens actually if you relax? You float, right? And what happens is you start to panic, you will drown. And how many people out there are panicking in this life? Really? So there is no sa'ada, there is no happiness, there is no comfort in this life. I'm not saying just go over and die then. Is this what you're trying to tell? No. Live your life. But know that this is just a test. It's like, you go into school. You study the whole year and then they have a final. But with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the final is different. Your final here in this life, you can take it more and more, and we fail, you can take it again, we take it. But with Allah, it's قَالَ رَبِّ ارْجِعُونِ لَعَلِّي أَعْمَلُ صَالِحًا فِيمَا تَرَكْتُ قَالَ كَلَّا. He says, oh Allah, oh my Lord, send me back to life in order to work rightfully in the things that I have neglected. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say, no, كَلَّا إِنَّهَا كَلِمَةٌ هُوَ قَالَ. Just a word that he is uttering. Which means that even if I send you back to life, you'll be doing the same exact thing. This is how pathetic you are. If I send you back, you'll be doing the same thing. So, finding with Allah is different. It's only one chance. But what you're getting is great. Is great. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam told people about the last person who will enter the paradise. The last person who will enter the paradise. He's coming from the hellfire and he's going to the paradise. Hadith read by Abdullah ibn Mas'ud radiallahu anhu. Then this man is coming out and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bring up a tree, big tree. And then he will say, oh my Lord, bring me closer to that tree in order to enjoy its shade and drink from its water. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make a deal with him. Okay, I will bring you closer to that tree, but do not ask for anything anymore. And then he will say, I promise I will not ask. Then Allah will bring him closer. And then Allah will bring up bigger tree, nicer. And then he will ask, oh Allah, bring me closer to that tree. Then Allah will say, haven't you promised not to ask for anything anymore? He will say, just bring me closer and I swear that I will not ask for anything anymore. And Allah will bring him closer. And then Allah will raise another one, and then another one, and then another one. What Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is doing with him, that he is trying to get him out, or trying to get him away from the gate of the hellfire, and get him closer to the gate of the Jannah. When he got closer to the gate of the Jannah, he heard the people in Jannah enjoying their time. And then he will say, oh my Lord, can you grant me the Jannah? And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will laugh. And then he will say, أَتَسْخَرُ مِنِّي وَأَنْتَ رَبُّ الْعَالَمِينَ. You make fun of me, you mock me, and you are the Lord of the universe. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say, go, enter the Jannah. Enter the Jannah. One of the most beautiful, amazing hadith, about the last day, and about the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the last day. A hadith, it's mentioned and it's located in Musnad of Imam Ahmad and also in Sunan al-Tirmidhi. And two people will come in the last day, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will order the angels to take them to hellfire. One of them will stop, and he will turn around. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say, bring him back. And then he will be asked, what made you stop? Why did you stop? Why did you turn around? He will say, كنت أتمنى كنت أرجو أن تغفر لي وتدخلني الجنة. I was just hoping that you would forgive me, that you would let me the Jannah. Ya akhi, subhanallah. The servant did not say that by himself. No. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala inspired him to stop, to turn, and to say these words. Why? Because he wanted to forgive him. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say, take him to the Jannah. Amazing. Amazing rahmah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. During the winter, when it's really cold outside, messy with all the snow and everything, you turn on the TV, and you see all these commercials about the Bahamas. And what do you see? Trees, palm trees, the sun, good-looking men, beautiful women, drinks, food, fruits. The waters look so good, so blue, and you feel, I wish I can just go there for like 2 days or take like a vacation for the weekend and go enjoy my life. They call this escape to paradise. Seriously, that's what they call escape to the paradise. So, subhanAllah. All these things you can see in the Jannah. But it will not be for a day or two or a weekend. It will be forever. Because the Jannah is a place where each moment that you spend is better and more beautiful, more enjoyment than the moment before. You don't get tired in Jannah. You don't get tired in Jannah. Ibn Abdullah ibn Abbas, he said, there is nothing in the life of this world which is exactly the same as what it is in paradise except the names. Just the names. That's it. Fruit is also like, tufah, inab, apple, grapes. They have the same name, but they're completely different. They're completely different. SubhanAllah. Jannah, brothers and sisters. فيها ما لا عين رأت ولا أذن سمعت ولا خطر على قلب بشر. Things which have never been seen by any eye, nor heard by any ear, nor imagined by any human. That's the Jannah. And one of the most beautiful things also in the Jannah, and as I said in the beginning, it's so hard to talk about, to describe the Jannah as it's described in the book of Allah, the Quran, in just like 45 minutes or an hour. It's so hard. So we're trying to just like pick a few things. One of the most beautiful things in the Jannah is you actually get to see the person, the first person who says, La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, from your forefathers. And you thank him, you get to see him and thank him. Thank you very much. You're the first one who says, La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, and the whole family, mashallah, followed you. Thank you very much. Right? One of the most beautiful things in the Jannah also, that if you are in a higher state, in a higher level, and your family are not, they can be upgraded. You know when you go have a family plan phone, and you get upgrade for your wife or for your son or your daughter, just because you're a big man who pays the bills on time and never escape the bill. They give you upgrade. With Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also it's different. Your family will be also upgraded. Why? Because of you. Because of you. A beautiful thing also is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Ghafir that رَبَّنَا وَأَدْخِلْهُمْ جَنَّاتِ عَدْنٍ الَّتِي وَعَدتَّهُمْ. Oh Allah, grant him Adn. And Adn is a Jannah, or a name for a part in a Jannah. رَبَّنَا وَأَدْخِلْهُمْ جَنَّاتِ عَدْنٍ الَّتِي وَعَدتَّهُمْ وَمَنْ صَلَحَ مِنْ آبَائِهِمْ وَأَزْوَاجِهِمْ وَذُرِّيَّتِهِمْ. Oh Allah, grant him the Jannah of Adn, with also their وَمَنْ صَلَحَ مِنْ آبَائِهِمْ, and also their fathers, their forefathers, وَأَزْوَاجِهِمْ, their spouses, their wives. You know, someone might hear that and say, like, wait a second. My wife? I thought the Jannah was a cool place, man. You know, this person who's been nagging me for 20 years going to be with me in the Jannah? You know? It's completely different. Your wife will be actually more beautiful than the hur, the female companions. You know, I was sitting one time in the presence of a sheikh, and then he said to me, it's not a true story, but it's a funny story. He said that one time, his wife died, and then they prayed the janazah, and they took the body to the graveyard, and then he was pretending that he's really in deep sorrow, crying and crying and crying, subhanAllah. And the sheikh was there and said, subhanAllah, I've never seen someone who's loyal to his wife as much as you. But hey, akhi, subhanAllah, if you don't marry anybody, she'll be your wife in the Jannah. He said, she'll be my wife in the Jannah. He said, yes. And then they said, he stopped crying and he stood up and he looked at the grave and had everybody to witness him. He said, Father. Divorce. Because he doesn't want to be, subhanAllah. And the Jannah is completely different. The wife that should be nagging you and giving you a hard time is a completely different person. The husband also, sisters, if there are sisters here, the sisters also, the husbands that will be nagging you, giving you hard times, and they're completely different. وَنَزَعْنَا مَا فِي صُدُورِهِمْ مِنْ غِلٍّ. We rooted out every hatred, every animosity, every envy, out from their hearts. أَخْوَانًا عَلَى سُورٍ مُتَقَابِلِينَ. No, they are brothers and sisters, sitting, cross from one another, sitting in the couches, in the beds, in the thrones in the Jannah, cross from one another. This is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says. The most beautiful thing in the Jannah. The most. I know that I've been saying the most. Actually, the most beautiful things in the Jannah is you actually get to see the Lord. Get to see the Lord, Allah. The Sahaba asked Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, as rated by Abu Hurairah, that some companion asked Rasulullah, O Messenger of Allah, will we see our Lord on the day of judgment? He replied, do you have any difficulty in seeing the sun at noon when it's not clouded over? They said no. Then he said, do you have any difficulty in seeing the full moon on the 14th night when it's not clouded over? They said no. Then he said, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, by Allah, you will have no more difficulty in seeing your Lord than you have in seeing either of them. So that you actually get to see your Lord. Ibn Qayyim said this is the best blessing in it. That's the best. You will get to see the one that you worship, the one who created you. Right? And there is a long hadith. If you want to read about the description of the Jannah, هَادِيَ الْأَرْوَاحِ إِلَى بِلَادِ الْأَفْرَاحِ, a book by Ibn Qayyim. You can read it in 2 nights. It's like maybe 350, 400 pages. Amazing. Wallah. You will feel that you're actually in a journey. You're actually taking a tour in a Jannah. Beautiful book. I don't know if it's translated in English or not, but get it in Arabic and read it. And try to Google it and see if it's actually translated in English. Ibn al-Qayyim said the best blessing in the Jannah is to get to see your Lord. And a part of this hadith, because as it says, it's a long hadith, a part of it that a sound will call people, a voice will call people, Ya Ahl al-Jannah, O people of paradise. It's just like in Zurina. Imagine this scene. You're sitting in a paradise, enjoying your time in paradise, and all of a sudden you hear the sound. Ya Ahl al-Jannah, O people of paradise, Allah is requesting a meeting from you. Allah is requesting a meeting. Subhanallah. Ya akhi, if you go to the mayor or to a city council or a governor or something, you have to wait for weeks until they find you a spot to put you in, to meet somebody big for like 5 or 10 minutes. But Allah, the Lord, is requesting a meeting. Then you will get to meet your Lord. And imagine that you go into your house, open your dresser, you see what kind of suit you're going to put on. The Versace or the Gucci. But it's going to be the Jannah style Gucci. The Jannah style Versace. The things that you just hear about them. I don't know. Maybe some of you wear it. I don't know. Allah. But and then the limo, you get the limo. And the limo also is completely different limo. It's a Jannah style limo. And then you ride, and then you meet your Lord. And what would happen? You will actually get to talk to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You will talk to Allah. And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, every single one of you will be standing before his Lord. لَيْسَ بَيْنَهُ وَبَيْنَ اللَّهِ تُرْجَمَانٍ. There is no mediator, there is no translator, there is no barrier, there is no veil, there is nothing. You and Allah face to face. Allahu Akbar. And then you get to talk to your Lord, and He will remind you with things, some bad things that you used to do when you were in life. And then you will get to say, my Lord, will you forgive me? Allah will say to you, you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be here if I didn't forgive you. Right? So you're forgiven, don't worry. Don't worry. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bring death. And will slaughter death in front of everybody. And say, Ya Ahl al-Jannah, enjoy your time. Hayah bila maut. Live for eternity. You will never grow old. And imagine this life, every moment of this life, every moment of this life will be better than the moment before for eternity. Live with your imagination. Just imagine the Jannah. One person in the Jannah, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned his story in Surah As-Saffat. Somebody will come in the last day, alhamdulillah, a good guy made it to the Jannah. He will ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala a question. What the question is he going to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the last day? قال قائل منهم إني كان لي قريب يقول أئنك لمن المصدقين أئذا متنا وكنا ترابا وعظاما أئنا لمدينون قال هل أنتم مطلعون فاطلع فرآه في سواء الجحيم قال تالله إن كدت لتردين ولولا نعمة ربي لكنت من المحضرين أفما نحن بميتين إلا موتتنا الأولى وما نحن بمعذبين إن هذا لهو الفوز العظيم إن هذا لهو الفوز العظيم إن هذا لهو الفوز العظيم لمثل هذا فليعمل العاملون. This man, he made it to the Jannah. requested something from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. قَالَ قَائِلٌ مِّنْهُمْ, he will say, "Oh my Lord, I had a companion in life. I know this person in life. He used to always say to me, إِنَّكَ لَمِنَ الْمُصَدِّقِينَ." Do you believe these things, man? Do you believe these things they're talking about? Do you believe in reckoning? Do you believe in resurrection? Do you believe in God? There is no such a thing. There is no such a thing. Right? Why do you go to the masjid, ya akhi? Why do you have to get to listen to this guy with the funny accent? Why do you have to attend all this? Don't worry about these things. Why don't you just believe when you die, you just sleep? That's it. There is no such a thing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will resurrect you, will bring you back to life and ask you about everything. No, there is no such a thing. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put this story in the Quran to tell us about these two people. قال يقول أئنك لمن المصدقين. Believe these things. أئذا متنا وكنا ترابا أئنا لمدينون. If we die, it's over, man. It's over. We're never going to be resurrected. We are in deep sleep and that's it. Then قال هل أنتم مطلعون. A sound, a voice will say, هل أنتم مطلعون. Are you ready? Are you ready to look at the person that you're asking for? فاطلع. He looked down. فَرَآهُ فِي سَوَاءِ الْجَحِيمِ. He looked at him and he saw him in the midst of the hellfire. وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ. That person, he was my buddy in life. He was my friend. You know, I used to follow him on Facebook. I used to follow him on Twitter. I know everything about him. We used to hang out together. We used to play video games together. Like what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Surah Al-Furqan. You know, when he said, يَوْمَ عَبْدُ الظَّالِمُ عَلَى يَدَيْهِ يَقُولُ يَا لَيْتَنِي اتَّخَذْتُ مَعَ رَسُولِ سَبِيلًا. يَا لَيْتَنِي لَمْ أَتَّخِذْ فُلَانًا خَلِيلًا. I wish he didn't take fulan. So he doesn't even remember his name. That friend, you don't even remember his name. I don't remember his name. That one that you were with him all the time, spending time with him, playing soccer and football with him, playing video games. You don't even remember his name in the last day. And then he said, مَعَ الرَّسُولِ. He put alif lam. لِلتَّوْكِيد. I wish I took away with the messenger of Allah. I know the messenger of Allah was true. But I actually didn't follow him. I followed his friend. You know, so and so, fulan. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say, هَلْ أَنْتُمُ طَلَعِينَ. Are you ready to look? فَاطَّلَعَ فَرَآهُ فِي سَوَاءِ الْجَحِيمِ. He looked and he saw him in the midst of the hellfire. What did he say? قَالَ تَاللَّهِ إِنْ كِدْتَ لَتُرْدِينِ. Ya Allah, oh man, I was so close. And you were so close to get me into that fire. I was so close to follow your trap or to fall into your trap. Alhamdulillah. وَلَوْلَا نِعْمَةُ رَبِّي. وَلَوْلَا نِعْمَةُ رَبِّي. Had it been for the grace of my Lord, I would have been among those brought down for the hell. Alhamdulillah, I made it to the Jannah. Alhamdulillah. And he will just kind of like tease that person. فَمَا نَحْنُ مَيِّتِينَ. We're not going to die anymore. إِلَّا مَفْتَسِنَا الْأُولَى. He was just in life, the death, and that's it. We're not going to die anymore. And then he says, إِنَّ هَذَا لَهُوَ الْفَوْزُ الْعَظِيمُ. This is the greatest success, the supreme success. لِمِثْلِ هَذَا فَلْيَعْمَلِ الْعَامِلُونَ. For all this, for all the things that we spoke about, for all the things that we mentioned today about the Jannah, let the workers work. I'm going to finish after this. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created the Jannah, He asked Jibreel, Ya Jibreel, go, check out the Jannah, and come back and tell me what do you think. He went and he came back, and he says, Ya Allah, it's beautiful. And I believe that everyone who hears about it will enter the Jannah. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created trials and hardships around the Jannah. And then He says, Jibreel, go back. Go back and check the Jannah. Check out the Jannah. He went. He checked it out. He came back and he says, Oh Allah, now I fear that no one will enter the Jannah. Good news and bad news. The good news, it's a beautiful place. It's a place where you cannot find pain or harm, no animosity, no jealousy, no envy, none of these things. But it's surrounded with trials, which means that you have to work for it. Which means that you have to work hard for it. The goods of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are not cheap, they're precious. And you will only be granted the Jannah if you work so hard for the Jannah. So let us work inshallah for the Jannah. قولوا قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم اللهم اجعل هذا الجمع جمعا مرحوما وتفرقنا من بعده تفرقا معصوما ولا تجعل فينا ولا حولنا شقيا ولا محروما اللهم اغفر لنا ذنوبنا اجمعين اللهم اغفر لنا ذنوبنا اجمعين اللهم اغفر للمسلمين والمسلمات والمؤمنين والمؤمنات الاحياء منهم والاموات انك سميع قريب مجيب الدعوات. Oh Allah, we ask you to honor us as we honor the righteous people before us. Oh Allah, we ask you to pardon our shortcomings and forgive our mistakes. Oh Allah, we ask you to strengthen our faith. Oh Allah, we ask you to strengthen our faith and to grant us the highest level of paradise. Oh Allah, we ask you to grant us the highest level of paradise. Oh Allah, we ask you to place lights in our hearts and to make us, inshallah, sources of light. Ameen, ameen, ameen. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين وجزاكم الله خيرا والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله.